Wow. If I'm gonna be honest, I think I'm worn out. It's been a lot of work. We have the big reveal on Remember Your Oath coming up, and we've been working day and night. You guys can go to rememberyouroath.com and check out the countdown clock is there. Well, you got to be teased with it a little bit. What's your thought process on this?
I can't wait. I think it's going to be exciting, and it is exactly in many ways what is needed right now is some semblance of a tool that people can use to really be in the game. I think a lot of people are on the sidelines right now, and you can feel the anger bubbling up and the frustration, and it's got to go somewhere, right? And we don't want to channel it as anger, but we want to channel it as action, positive action. And I think this is going to help do that. It's going to really channel that energy. I'm feeling it. Phoebe's feeling it. Everyone around me is feeling it. What do we do with it?
Yep, yep. So I'll be working through the night trying to finalize that because then I will be on a plane with my lovely wife tomorrow morning, and then we will be on site in Spring Hill, Tennessee at the last True Tour ever, which sad and exciting at the same time because there's a new chapter that I'm opening up and there's something we need to focus off to really take this over the finish line.
Really, and I'm excited for the next chapter as well. We've been talking a lot about it, and you and I have some stuff in the works as well. And there's a time for everything, and everything leads to something else, and nothing is ever wasted. I know a lot of people look at their past. Oh, why did I do that for 10 years? Well, all the experience you gained. Truthfully, it's never wasted. I was a commercial photographer when I got out of college, and he said, "Well, I don't do much in the way of photography anymore, but." All the experience, everything comes forward. So all the truth tour stuff, everything that we've learned, the contacts we've made, all of it will play a role as we move forward into the next chapter of this. And I think, Lewis, you and I had this conversation a long time ago that when we get past the crazy that is our society right now, there won't be a need for truth tour. There'll be a need for something else, right? It'll have shifted, and we're kind of moving into I guess the tipping point is the best way to put it. I know it's a kind of a soft word for what we're experiencing, but we're getting close to that tipping point.
Yeah, and I wouldn't trade the truth tour for anything. I
Right.
mean, the reality, if I'm being honest, that financially it's put a hell of a lot of stress on our family. People don't even know. For some reason, the rumor's still out that I make money on these things, so that's really funny. But it's put so much stress on our family, it's almost unbearable. That being said, I don't think I would have changed anything, even the financial hit that we took because of the people that we met, the lessons that we learned. I can definitely tell you that the boot camp, Freedom in Action, and our Remember Your Oath campaign that's coming up would not even be here if we were not paying attention to We the People and learning from them on the truth tours. So that's a huge benefit right there alone.
And this show wouldn't be here if it weren't for the truth tour. That's where we met, right? That brought
And
us
and
together.
and on
Yeah.
frankly, many shows
Yeah.
we probably should, not that we should get credit, but we should get recognized. Like there's a bunch of truthers out there now that have beautiful large platforms, and they were directly a result of the truth tour.
Yep. Yep. It's spun off so much, and like we said, we're just dropping that rock into the pond, and it ripples out, and we don't even know the number of people that the Truth Tour directly or indirectly has impacted.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And sometimes I get a little frustrated. And I may even sound bitter because I get comments. Great example. It's on Nicholas Veniamin yesterday, and I thought it was just a phenomenal show. People really, really liked it. It was good information. But we brought up Neumi. And of course, there's people in this chat scolding us. How dare we ever mention a product? Literally. And I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, so let me ask you a question. I need to put my whole life on hold, lose a $2.5 million business that I never made a penny from, and work 80 hours a week for We the People and go in the hole on all the stuff I do, but yet I can't show you a product that actually is near and dear to my heart that I think I'm helping people.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the cabal has created that entitlement, and people that they consider themselves patriots. And I had this conversation with somebody today. people consider themselves patriots aren't immune from being assholes, weird, crazy, and selfish. Because guess what? The cabal has created this self-serving entitlement structure. And just because we're pointed in the right direction in the patriot movement doesn't mean that we don't still have some of those bad habits. So I was talking to somebody, and we have to be honest and open to that, because I fall into bad habits all the time, but I like to look in the mirror and go, okay, how can I do better? Right? I don't
Right.
want to be that person.
Yeah.
So I think it's very, very important that we do that.
There's a favorite quote of mine. I think it was shared by Dan Kennedy, but it's probably somebody else's quote. And it says simply, if you hate rich people, don't worry, you'll never be one.
Yeah.
Right? It's
Right
true.
now, I'd be happy to be a break-even person.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like
But
people look at us and say, "Oh, you guys are making so much money. Look at this beautiful show you guys are putting on. You guys will be making millions." And if you know how much we really were breaking even from this show, or making from this show, I should say, you'd be like, "Why the hell are you doing this?" You know
I
what
know,
I mean?
I know, I know.
Labor of love at this point, my friends. Labor of love. Hey,
Yeah.
boy, we've got a new Speaker of the House potentially. What do you think about this guy, Scalise?
Well, so what this was, folks. This was they were a secret ballot is what they did through the GOP, and I think Scalise won something like 113 to 99, or I'm not quite sure what the
That was
numbers
the number,
were.
right? Yep.
Is that it? But this is not indicative of the way the actual vote in the House will go, because what happens is then they have to still get 217 votes, right? That vote alone was 212 votes total. So that means when it comes out, they're not all going to be in lockstep for Scalise. There probably is going to be another battle, and then there's going to be negotiations trying to move back and forth. Frankly, right now, shockingly to people, I'm not happy with either choice. I'm not happy with Jim Jordan, because Jim Jordan is 100% all in on financing Israel.
Yep.
Now, doesn't matter what your thought process is, whether Israel is in the right or the wrong here. I think there's a deep state element on both sides right now. But the fact that he's lockstep virtue signaling all in on Israel is a major concern, because he's literally, let's just shift the money we're spending on Ukraine and let's pull it over to Israel now. Like the money's going to make the difference. Israel's as a country, as a mechanism, are very wealthy. Not the people are not. Let's be clear about that. So I'm not as happy as I would have been about Jim Jordan, that I thought he was the guy in the past. My concern with Steve Scalise is he healthy enough? Would be a concern. He's has shown to be closer to the moderate side. I don't think that's what we need right now, is the moderate side. And although you pointed out to me that the reason why he's probably wearing the mask, because he's concerned for his immune system, assuming that's true, the optics of him wearing the mask on TV all the time will be a very bad one, because that's even if it's not intentional, that's a virtue signal that we're going to go back to the mask wearing. And I think that could be extraordinarily, even on accident, could be very, very, very dangerous. So I'm not happy with any of those choices really at the moment. So we'll see how this plays out. I am very interested in seeing the vote and how it goes down, and seeing the negotiations, and really seeing how Matt Gaetz falls down on this. By the way, people don't know this. Matt Gaetz is meeting with President Trump as we speak.
That's
I'm
what
sure
happened to
that's
that story. 'Cause that story disappeared because it was in the news last week, and then it was supposed to be on Tuesday, and then
yeah.
it got buried. I didn't find it.
I'm sure that's not an accident.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. So the conservatives actually decided to pick somebody who's conservative, because Jim Jordan would be a little bit more of a firebrand, and they
Right,
decided to
right,
go
right.
the conservative route. But Scalise isn't really anything. He's sort of one of the players again. One of these. He's not going to stand for anything. He's going to go whichever way the wind blows. Is my feeling on him.
Yeah, I think he's probably a little better than McCarthy, and not as strong as who we can have in there. So we're going to see. A kind of a side note is they're trying to change the one vote rule too. I don't know if you read it about that.
Yeah, yeah.
So and what we're referring to, folks, is the one vote that got um, McCarthy put on the chopping blocks by Matt Gaetz. They're already trying to axe that, and they call it revised. They're just trying to get rid of it, is what they're trying to do. So this can't happen again. Uh, Again, these are all actors we're watching at. The question is, what team are they playing for? I guess we're going to find out.
When he gets into that position of power, the money's going to start flowing, and where he stands today is not going to be where he is 3 months from now, when he's being bribed and being coerced and being told how to vote, and you know what I mean. So we always have that to keep an eye on, and I would suggest losing that one vote to remove him clause in the rules. I think is a big mistake. Because you really do need that. You need to remove someone who's like McCarthy, totally sold out,
Absolutely.
right?
It is definitely a great accountability tool.
Yeah.
So, by the way, my outfit today is indicative of my support for Zelensky. Not this is my warrior outfit, I guess. I'll be recording something for Remember Your Oath, and because I've been working so hard, I have to wear a hat today.
Awesome.
My wife hates it, by the way. Just go do your hair.
I had to fight with my hair today. My hairdresser's actually in Greece, so I'm waiting for her to come back. She's gonna be a week beyond where I normally get a haircut. So sometime next week I'll get it cut. Got to battle with this thing, I tell you. All right, so I want to bring something up that before we go into the next story that I found kind of fascinating. We spend a lot of time on the Gateway Pundit, right, for looking for stories and such. And I picked a story early this morning. I said, okay, I want to talk about this one. And then I went back to capture an image, for the PowerPoint. So we have an image to put up. And then I wanted to capture some quotes from the story. And it was gone. Well, this is interesting because it's a blog, so they should be in chronological order, right? And then I went into the search and I was able to find it, but why is it no longer in the feed like it normally is? Because things are changing so quickly that they put it out and then they find more information and they go, well, not so much.
I have a different take on this.
Okay.
And I'm glad you brought this up because I've been seeing it a lot lately.
Yep, I have too.
I'm seeing it on Twitter and websites and everything. Things go up and they're deleted.
They're gone. Yep.
See ya. And I believe there are elements of control, as I've mentioned, on both sides. And I believe that a lot of the more popular Twitter feeds, websites, broadcasts, podcasts, all of this stuff, there's an element of control where, let's call them the good guys, have their pulse on it, their hands in the mix. And if they don't like the way something that was put out, I believe that they take action and it's getting pulled down. And I believe in that in my heart. Guys, that's speculation. It's my opinion. I'm just saying there's no reason that these things are getting axed like this. And generally the ones I see getting axed are like, well, that's an interesting take.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Outside of the narrative, right? Something that's not in the narrative.
Something I can buy into that's outside the narrative. Yep. And then I think they get their hands slapped. And they're like, oh, no, you can't do that.
Yep.
Which is very interesting.
Yeah, you wouldn't expect it of something like the Gateway Pundit, but I went in yesterday and I was like, I thought it was just me yesterday. I'm like, maybe it's, and then it happened again this morning. I'm like, this is weird. The stories were there and then they're not. And it's almost like, what do you got to do? Capture them? Kind of like Mercola.com, right? He puts his articles up. He can only have them up for 24 hours and then he has to take them down for fear of being attacked, and like he had been. And, it's just a weird kind of world that we're living in right now.
Well, we've got Gateway Pundit definitely went full on pro-Israel immediately.
Yep, they did.
They did. I don't know if that has something to do with it.
Yeah, I wonder, because we do see it, and it's one of these things. And this was the story that disappeared, was the Hamas leader, who is living in Qatar, apparently, in lap of luxury, and he's free to live there, all he wants. Khalid Mashal, the former leader, the founding member of Hamas, called for the global Muslim uprising in support of Palestine. Maybe that's why this story got removed. during the recent address on YouTube. Huh?
I know.
He didn't get removed? What?
Well, people probably don't know this, but YouTube's run by Saudis right now.
Wow.
That probably answers your
That would
question.
answer the question. Yeah. Sacrifice and carry jihad, including the willingness to offer their blood and souls to advance the Palestinian cause. Mashal has proclaimed the coming Friday the 13th as Friday of Al-Aqsa flood, which Al-Aqsa is the temple in Jerusalem, apparently, urging Muslims worldwide to display their anger, not just in Muslim countries, but also in communities around the world. He gave a speech today, and some of the things that he shared were kind of interesting. I'll share a couple of bullet points here from this. This is really interesting. Number one, to show anger, especially next Friday in Muslim countries and also among Muslim diaspora. I don't know what that word is. Around the world, he called it the Friday of Al-Aqsa flood. He said, this will send a message of rage to the Zionists and to America. Now, Laura Loomer's all over this, and she is one who is into the drama. I can tell you, she's telling everyone, don't go to major cities this weekend, stay away. Number two, he asked for financial help from all Muslims around the world to help with their money. He called it the financial jihad. He asked Muslims to give the fighters of Gaza in order to compensate them for the destruction, give to the fighters of Gaza. Number three, he asked political pressure from Muslim leaders in Muslim nations to stop Israel's military invasion of Gaza. Number four, the most important thing, he asked all Muslims around the world to carry jihad by their souls, to fight and be martyrs. He wants Muslims to fight against the Jews, starting with Muslims who live in countries surrounding Israel, Jordan, Syria, Lebanon, and Egypt, but also other countries, to go to the borders and try to enter each by his own means. He said this is the time for jihad to be applied on the ground rather than just in theory. He asked the mujahideen to go into long caravans to spill their blood on the land of Palestine. Here are his final words. Funds are important, but today we're asking Palestine. Yeah, nice guy.
Crazy. Well, and look at the demonstrations. I don't know if you have it here, the pro-Palestine demonstrations inside the United States.
Yeah.
And there you go. So this is one of those things I think is a legitimate concern.
That was in Dearborn, Michigan. That's our country, folks.
That's right.
You know, that's not out there.
The good news is a truth tour isn't located in a major city.
Yes.
It's 30 miles away, so don't worry. Still come to the truth tour. Don't be scared off.
Yeah.
A lot of this is fear porn by the way the reactions are to this. That being said, we have to be honest. We have more fighting age men in this country that have illegally come through the borders than ever before in the history of this country. So that is a legitimate concern that we need to pay attention to. I think it's ironic, and everybody should think about this. I don't go down the Democrat-Republican road, but I will say the Democrats are wholesale, virtually 100% evil. I'm talking about the politicians themselves. Right. And the Democrat cities are the ones that are all jacked up. These are facts. There's no conjecture there. Where they would attack is to the same stronghold that they would get their support.
It's visceral, and I don't know if it's just coming because it's that particular environment, that particular society. There's always been a lot of conflict and anger in that world, and people are just like, they're just lit on it, and it's a hard topic to cover because you can't have sometimes peaceful conversations with people because they get on their high horse and they just go, so yeah, it's not an easy thing to navigate, but we've got to approach it. And you and I, Lewis, tend to be very pragmatic about this, and we like to look at all the facts. The other fact that why did they move the music festival 48 hours before it was happening? They moved it to a less secure area. Well, that's a tell. What is that? And how did paragliders get in? It doesn't make any sense. There's so many pieces that if you look at them, you don't have a puzzle here. You don't have a full picture of the puzzle. You have pieces that are just, they don't work. You can't make the narrative that they're trying to give us work. So that's what we're saying. We're not really taking sides here and saying that one side's right, one side's wrong. There's more to this story, and we're going to keep digging and uncovering because we want to know. We want to get to that truth. We're not there yet. Clearly, we're not there yet.
Right. Well, the challenge too is if we cover ourselves in a blanket of a religious ideology, many times we're blind. Yeah. So I'm going to say something that's going to frustrate a lot of people on this chat. I'm sorry to say, guys, there are good Jewish people and there are good Muslims. I know that's impossible to think. I have to just take a wholesale side. Oh, by the way, there are very bad Jewish people and there are very bad Muslims also.
Yeah. Muhammad Ali. We celebrated him, Muslim.
That's right.
And the girl who cuts my hair and has been cutting it since 2004, Muslim.
Right.
No problem. Love the girl.
And she's not going to cut your neck anytime soon.
I hope not. I trust her with a razor back there, but
But people are so stuck in this.
They are.
all Jews bad. There's a couple in here now that I talked to, and they're cool people, but they're like, all Jews are bad. And another says all Muslims are bad. But guys, we just have to think that's where they want us to be. When I say that, the deep state cabal want us to think exactly like that. They don't want us to find any middle ground. They want us to be completely divided. That's why I'm always very specific when I talk about the Jews. I talk about the Khazarian mafia is the huge evil entity, controllers of the world, right, in my opinion.
Destroyers of civilization and the multitude disillusioned with Christianity, whose dissect spirits will from that moment be without compass or direction, anxious for an ideal, but without knowing where to render its adoration, will receive the true light through the universal manifestation of the pure doctrine of Lucifer, brought finally out into the public view. This manifestation will result from the general reactionary movement, which will follow the destruction of Christianity and atheism, both conquered and exterminated at the same time. This is on the Renegade Media Telegram channel. If you want that image, it's there for you. Wow. It's where we are.
It's pretty clear. So that's 1871. So they have a multi-generational plan that's been playing out for a long time. That's 252 years, if my math is correct.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
It's crazy. So accurate.
Actually, I think that's 150 years.
Right.
But that's a multi-generational thing. So wasn't Albert Pike, didn't he have a statue that BLM wanted to tear down and President Trump fought to keep it up in D.C.? Wasn't that not a story at one time?
That I don't know. I'm not sure on that one.
The reason why I bring that up, and it may not have been D.C., it could have been Georgia, which would make sense that guy would be in Georgia.
Yeah.
But again, so here's a question to people in the chat. Do you think Trump is a bad guy if he wanted to save an Albert Pike statue? Or do you think, again, this was shedding light on somebody? Because clearly the dude's a Luciferian and a Freemason.
Yeah. I just read that this morning. When I read it, I was like getting chills. I'm like, wow, this is, we need to share this. And Phoebe goes, that's the whole show. Just read that and go say goodbye to everyone. Thanks, Phoebes. And you're right. What else can you possibly say about that? Wow.
Amazing stuff. Thank Phoebe for bringing that through. It's so apropos right now.
Yeah. Well, let's stand with Ukraine. Hey, we're doing Israel this week. Stop it.
Yeah, my absolutely favorite meme. Throw that back up just so I could laugh again.
You want to laugh a little? Yeah, there you go.
Guys, a lot of you listen and don't actually watch the screen, you should read this. It's Batman and Robin. It says, I stand with Ukraine, and Batman slaps him, say, we're doing Israel this week. Just love that.
The world is on fire, and we tried to get comments from our esteemed president, but he wanted ice cream, and then he needed to take a nap, so we didn't get anything again from him today.
Again.
Again, every day this happens. He calls a lid. It's 12 o'clock, and he needs his ice cream and his nap, and he's gone.
Okay, so here's the question.
Hmm.
Let's take a pragmatic wake up.
Could be both, couldn't it? Really depends who's pulling the string there. We don't know who's behind it. If it's Barack Hussein Obama pulling the strings, then, he's black, right? Black hat.
Well, I'm going to say it doesn't matter. And I know people go, what do you mean it doesn't matter? It doesn't matter if he's a black hat or white hat, because the result is the same. People are watching this clown show and they're waking up in droves. And ultimately, the reason why I'd say it doesn't matter is this is what I want people to get. And this is what Remember Your Oath is going to be about. This is about we the people. This is not about President Trump or anybody coming in on a white Pegasus or unicorn to save us. This is about we the people. President Trump has said several times it's about we the people. The 47th president is we the people. Therefore, we just need to take action. So it doesn't really matter who's pulling the strings right now. Either way, we have to take action. And we have all the power. Somebody was debating in my chat yesterday, how can we have all the power with all this bad stuff going on? We have the power, we just haven't accessed it. We choose to sit on our couch and play our video games. It is what it is, right? Hey, I love sports. It's reality, but right now it's time to get to work, and let's for at least our kids and grandkids and people to come, let's take our country and our world back and get it done. I think we can get it done in within a year if we the people are all standing up. They just can't do anything. I've seen it firsthand in a meeting when you have 50 people speaking in the same direction at an entity with the same message, they cave. They can't handle it. They're like, oh, what do we do? And when we start to realize this and we're going to show these positive results over and over and over, the people are going to say, okay, we do have the power.
One of the saving graces of YouTube, probably the only reason that it still has any following, is that people are so addicted to entertainment. And, we're looking at sports. You and I are talking about sports a little bit too. And, I was happy last night when I read that the NHL, the Hockey League, National Hockey League, is going to ban all of the rainbow stuff from the league. You can't do the rainbow shirts and the rainbow tape and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, yeah, finally. Okay, that's a good move, because they were big in supporting BLM during 2020. And I thought, okay, here's another league that, I'd have to stop watching. But it's because we're addicted to the entertainment, so much so that we keep hanging on to these websites and these companies and these leagues that don't support us anymore. I mean, look at the NFL, what's been going on with that. Crazy. But it's hard to get somebody, pull them away and say, okay, Lewis, you can't watch football anymore because the league has gone woke on you. It's a hard thing to do, right?
Yeah. Well, when did that announcement come out from the NHL?
Yesterday.
I don't think it's an accident that it's coming out while everybody's focusing on Israel.
Yeah.
I think the bad news and the good news is going to come out together, because a lot of these places and companies that want to do the right thing don't have the courage to do so. And Palestine, they can actually get away with stuff that they want to do anyways without having the serious backlash.
Correct.
Because people don't have enough bandwidth to focus on two things at once.
I told you, it's the Cheesecake Factory menu right now. It's like there's so much coming out. It's like, okay, I want this, but I also want that. I can only eat so much. You can only deal with so much coming at us. And most people spend 5 minutes on the news. Our audience is different. You guys hang out with us for an hour and a half each day. We love it. We really appreciate it.
Because we're awesome. That's why.
Yeah, well, we try. And most people don't have that time to do that. And so they're headline news. They get the little bites and they're off. They go do their life or whatever. And they don't really see all the other things that are coming up. But, that was what Phoebe had said yesterday. She says, everything's Israel in the news. I said, I know. And Lewis and I were trying to go beyond that because there are other stories that are worth talking about. And the NHL, by the way, their opening day is today, so that came out just before the season openers today. Yep,
cool.
So, interesting.
We'll see what happens. They've always been ahead of the. Well, except for NASCAR, used to be ahead of the curve, and they've pretty much gone woke themselves.
Yeah, they have. Interestingly enough, NHL they've always been a little bit slower because they're less popular. they drag their feet a little bit. Of course, it's one of the fastest sports out there. You know, it's interesting that they've been a bit slower to adopt this kind of thing.
Right, right.
CNN wouldn't lie to us, would they, Lewis? Their
No,
reports are exactly as they appear.
no.
They don't
The
make anything
the
up. They don't direct. They don't produce.
no, the Rainbow Network never has any.
I don't know where that video came from. I don't know if that's true or someone just doing a voiceover, but she was playing along, so it
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
seemed like it was real.
It's clear that she spent half her salary on eye makeup.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. She used the whole damn bottle, didn't she?
Yeah, I thought at first I thought it was a zombie video, until I actually saw what was going on.
Yeah.
Holy moly, damn!
And if she were really in that situation, would she be without a flak helmet?
Yeah, and ladies, that's not attractive,
No,
right?
not at all.
It's false advertising.
Yeah.
Don't wear Spanx.
Craziness. I mean, the
Oh, I
whole
crack
thing.
myself up.
Yeah, you do. I crack you up too. So, that's what's important here. We're having a little bit of fun with some of these stories. Nutty, nutty stuff. So they're preparing a news story as if it were a movie, telling her how to act, telling her how to look, and then he's telling the cameraman, get in there, get the shot. That's my lingo. When I'm on set,
Yep.
that's my lingo.
Yeah. Speaking of a money shot, let's see if I can do this. My favorite ones are the weather reporters, right? Leaning into the wind, right? When the wind's blowing, right? Oh my Lord! I don't know if I can hang on. I'm here from Sweden, and this is horrible. 114 miles an hour. Right, and then they show a little kid on a tricycle running into the background.
Yep. Kid, you ruined the shot. Get out of here.
Ay, ay, ay.
Oh, brother. You need a little
These
boost
are
of energy.
Crazy times. Crazy times.
It-
Let's just be authentic.
It is. It
Go
is.
figure.
How about a little boost of energy, Lewis?
Oh,
How about a
I
little
love
swish? What do you think about that?
You tell me. I love my Neumi.
So do I.
So, I
So
really
do I.
do. I really do. I'm a whore for Neumi. I got to be honest with you. The more I use it, the more my family and friends use it, and the results I see from it and from everybody else. I mean, the reality is I've had over 100 products come across my way to promote. So I probably could have paid for all these true tours if I would have just selected like 4 or 5 or 6 of them. But I took 3. Ascent Nutrition, Lance is a great guy. Neumi and SBG Pets. That's it. And the reason why is because I have to try them first and fall in love with them before I put my name behind it. But wow, the glutathione. Excuse me. I think we're in a glutathione revolution. You know what I mean? Because the way they figure out how to make the particles so small that they permeate in us just by swishing, and it's almost like, from a layman's term, the glutathione talks to the mitochondria. The mitochondria tells your body, go to work, fix whatever ails you. And that is what goes on. And it is definitely the most powerful antioxidant. Glutathione is. I just love it. That's about as unscripted as I could be.
lherms.neumi.com, and somebody in the chat room, Barb Brox, is asking, I just want the stuff that makes your hair turn dark. Well, this is the stuff. And if we get Lewis to take his hat off, you'll see.
No, this is just all coincidence.
Yep. I look at this and I think this is a signal now that we're going to see a lot more of this, because now if these politicians really are looking into this and they want inquiry into it, it's going to be made more public, and again, more disclosure, right? Now we're seeing more of it, and now more of them are these military people who have this condition and have been denied, will start coming up, and it won't be 1, it might be 100, it might be 1,000, who knows what the number's going to be.
Yep. This is I really do think if we the people do our job, these are Nuremberg Code type deals.
Yeah.
I really believe that in
Yeah.
in my heart, and we just need to keep the pressure on. We cannot, because what I do have a fear that we'll never get full disclosure from the White Hats, right? That's a concern. Like, they'll get things straightened up the way they want it, and then we're just going to move forward. Or we, the people, will get things straightened up the way we want it, and then we'll forgive and forget. I think that is a huge mistake. I think heads need to roll, literally, and people need to be held accountable at the highest level. Now, as Robert David Steele says, I don't think the job gets done unless there is reconciliation. So I get that. But there's some people that are so they need to be gone.
Yeah, they can't be saved. They can't be turned. They are bought in 100%, and there's really nothing you can do. There are those people, and we see them on the other side too. They're really stuck in their ways, and they will not listen to reason no matter what we do. So there's no way to kind of pull them out of the fire, if you will, and do anything. So those people, yes, will have to be punished and dealt with in a way that they can't get back into any kind of position of power or authority because they've clearly abused it. So. Yeah. Coming out of Alberta, Canada, Danielle Smith, the Premier of Alberta, Canada, became the world's first major elected politician to offer...
Take this as a win, right? This is even if it's a small win. She's putting her life at risk with this statement, especially in communist Canada. So you should honor these statements and understand she is absolutely very, very courageous. Would I want her to say, yeah, more? Maybe she will. Maybe she'll roll out more. This isn't her first statement because she kind of started hinting at this a couple of months ago, and we were reporting on this. So maybe she's going to evolve and get better and better and better. But to me, she gave an amazing gift to the people that were wrongfully terminated, because they will use this statement in court. They probably won't even go to court, and they're going to get big fat paychecks. They don't even need to accept their job back. They literally can take her statements because she admitted guilt with her public apology. So I think that's a big deal.
Yeah, as the Premier of Alberta, it correlates to the governor of a state, right? So she's pretty seriously high up there in the government. And yeah, for her to say that, I think they also know, Lewis, I think it may be preemptive in a way too, because they know those lawsuits are coming. Right. Mm-hmm. And now that people have kind of woken up to the reality of what's going on, those lawsuits are coming, and it's just a matter of time now. So she's just opening the door for us, which I like.
She could, if we have to be open about this, she could also understand that the Nuremberg trials are coming, mm-hmm. and she could be protecting herself at the same time.
She wasn't in power during that time. I think she was just recently elected.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Live fact check on Lewis Herms from Robert. Thank you. That's important that they get the right information. Yeah. So yeah. So therefore, she's just doing the right thing, and it's awesome.
She's stepping forward, telling the truth, and the reason that video is circulating is because this is what we need to hear from our true leaders, not the bullshit that we've been getting dealt with from, especially everyone here in the United States. It's crazy. You're just not getting the truth anywhere, and nobody's daring to step up and say it. So this is, like they said in the article, this is the first one to stand up and say what happened here.
And looking for these things a lot, because maybe there's going to be a lot of good stories where people really want to do the right thing, and they know they're not going to take as much heat, because not everybody has courage. Let's just be honest about
Correct. That. But courage is contagious. It only really takes one to step up, and then if they don't get their head blown off, then the others will follow. Right. So and this is good. This may be the first one. Maybe there'll be more. Maybe there'll be, another one that'll step up. There'll be another province that'll play it, or maybe some governor here in the United States will do that. You saw the what is it? The health guy in Florida stepping up and saying, no more. We're not going to force these injections on anyone. Right. So takes one.
Yep.
All right. How do you like your chicken? Baked, broiled, what do you think? Barbecued?
I like my chicken created by God. That's why I like my chicken.
I'm with you on that.
Major spokesperson called it ubiquitous and boring.
Yep.
I don't want that guy in my marketing team.
No, thank you. Get off.
Oh my Lord. Yeah, we have the most exciting thing ever. And I got to tell you, it's ubiquitous and boring. Go get it now.
Yep.
Well, I'm not only ubiquitous and boring. I just love saying that word ubiquitous because I'm not a multisyllabic individual. Ubiquitous, ubiquitous, ubiquitous. But not only is it boring, it is, I think, ungodly. I think we're starting to create lab grown meat. We have a much bigger problem. And guys, anybody that's going to create lab born meat and sell it to you, yeah, really trust what cells they're really taking to create that.
Do you
Hmm.
want to know? Do you want to know what cells they're using?
Well, I know what cells they say they're using.
Yep, but it's not what they're using.
I bet you they're using human cells.
Yeah, well, they're using cells that have the exact.
Well, so wait, were those black people helping a white woman?
Yep, yep,
Right. Okay. Gavin Newsom would say how wonderful that is in public, and in private he would say they're trying to steal our walker.
that's right. Oh, these people! How are they? How are they our leaders? My gosh,
Oh, they're not
crazy!
leaders. They're controllers.
Yeah,
There's a
they
difference.
absolutely are. They're installed. That's for sure.
I mean, there's proof of it.
Yep.
Here in California, there's a recall election of Gavin Newsom. My wife and I did polling. 26 out of 26 people independently polled said we are absolutely kicking this guy out of office.
Hmm.
But he won 67% of the vote. Mathematically, that's impossible, folks. You
I did exactly the same thing, Lewis. I asked everyone I knew, and everyone was tired of him, wanted him gone.
Yeah.
And if you looked
Even
at the numbers,
Democrats and independents
yep,
are like, get this guy out of
yep.
here.
And if you look at the numbers that he quote unquote beat the recall by, they were almost the same ratio that he got elected the first time. They didn't even bother to make it look competitive. They just like, just use the numbers we used last time. They bought it last time. They'll buy it again. Craziness. Hey, shall we play our truth tour video? Because it's like 2 days away.
I was debating, but I think after seeing that, I'm going to go.
Be great to see you there in person, live and in person. You can touch and feel the person in front of you, which is fantastic, and certainly make great relationships and meet new friends and have someone you can talk to and not have to worry that they're going to come down on you for what you believe.
It's a beautiful place.
Yeah.
One of the best things that we've seen at all 77 of them are the personal connections with people, because they believe that they're on an island, and therefore they connect with people, and they're like, wow, you mean there's somebody just down the street or in the same community or city I am that think the same way? And we've had many meetings pop up all over the country just because we did truth tours. Now they meet every weekend or every month. And, I hear 10, 15, 30 people at meetings now consistently just because we went into their cities. So there's a side benefit to that. And then part of the big reveal will actually really help seal the deal when it comes to that. So at least, folks, be online. It's free. Just go to truthtour.net and you must register. But be online and it will be free. Truthtour.net. Just put your email in and you'll be able to watch the whole thing. And it's about 10 hours of just incredible speakers.
And I'm
And
working on my side to make that a great stream too. So
Robert's going to be hosting it, so it's going to be good. Pressure's on.
pressure's on. I was up till after 11 last night. It's starting to putting the stream together to make it really look a little bit more professional, even than we've done in the past. Which in the past has been pretty good. So we're just going to see if we can take it up a little notch here as well, because that's what I do. I'm always looking for that next level.
It's awesome.
I live there. Anything more you'd like to share with our group of lovely, wonderful viewers, followers, people who follow the channel, like the channel, share the channel? Love these people. This is a great, great, great audience.
Well, we should tell them I will be tomorrow on the road at 6 a.m. to go to the airport. So I'm out of pocket. You're going to handle the show tomorrow on your own. And then Friday, because we're so busy prepping for the Truth Tour, there will not be a show on Friday. Is that right?
Correct. Bruce had wanted to do interviews, and I said, Bruce, if you can figure out how to do an interview real quick, record it, and we'll put it up. But we're not going to have a live show.
Yeah, it's a little tough right now. We got a lot going on. But there will be content that will be put on this channel, though, so you should check for that.
Right. I can't wait for that content. It's been teased, but I haven't actually seen it yet. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Boom, bada bing.
Bada bing, people, bada bing. Hey, just want to say thank you to everyone. If you want these videos that we've been playing here, I'll be posting them up on Telegram on the Renegade Media channel. Please follow ScrewBigGov also on Telegram and on Rumble. If you're not following, just make sure you are, because some people say they were unfollowed for some reason. Rumble's got a bug, sometimes it happens. And also follow Renegade Media on Rumble as well, because we're going to be doing things that aren't necessarily going to be on both channels. And it's always good to have a backup in case one channel fails. There's a failover because we stream to both of them at the same time. I want to thank Lewis. Lewis has been phenomenal to work with. He's been a great friend. I've known him now just over a year, and we've been doing some really great things together. And you can see he's a great co-host, and he's put this show together for all of you. And your comments and your emails, your feedback, even when it's not 100% positive, is very much appreciated because it helps us be better. So I want to thank you, Lewis, for everything that you do. I love you. You're great person to follow and a great leader. And we're looking forward to what's coming next. There's a lot more coming.
A lot of good stuff, guys.
Yep.
We are going to be rocking it between now and the end of the year, which is really not the end of the year. It's in April, but that's a whole nother story.
I love it. We'll have a New Year's celebration on March 31st. How's that?
Absolutely. Just like last year.
All right.
All right, guys.